What was the process for you? I mean, because I don't get to ask a lot of people this specific question. What was the process for you of like learning how to speak in a friendly but also sales oriented way? Because I feel like that's really tough for like people getting started.
This is a conversation I love. So stop me if I am getting too in the weeds. There was a couple of years in my early 20s where I quit music entirely and was pursuing podcasting, online business, blogging, that whole thing. So I got really interested in the business aspect of things. I also, around that time, had a job. Have you ever been accosted on the street by someone with a clipboard or more recently an iPad saying, hey, do you have a moment to talk about blah, blah, blah? Okay, that was me.
Oh, man.
I had those jobs for a while. And I'll tell you what, going up to people and trying to talk about it, like Planned Parenthood, about the Nature Conservancy, about like really often polarizing issues, things that people have strong feelings about, and bring money into the conversation, that was such a good learning experience for me. It was fascinating because being on the street, trying to get people to flip to talking about an organization they might not know or care about or hate or love, whatever it is, and then bring their bank account into it. Like, real quick, you have to learn how to not personalize those conversations. So that was one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is I was unbelievably fortunate, while at the same time as trying to grow this business, I was mentoring a kid. I was living up in Seattle at the time. And her mother is a creative business coach, specializing in sales.
Oh, wow.
Like, the firm she works for literally wrote the book on creative sales processes. And I didn't really know this going in, but she handed me a book one day called The Win Without Pitching Manifesto, and changed my life. Unbelievably good book. It's short, maybe like 100, 150 pages or something. You can find it on Amazon, and it is so, so good. There's too much in there for me to really dissect in this, but the big thing I learned is that for a sale to happen and even be worthwhile down the road, because we've all had the experience of working on a project that you realize when you're too far in isn't working for some reason. So much of that working or not working is set up in the sales process and the conversation and the money and all of that. And so this book really supported me in learning that.
Wow. Okay, that's really. I'm gonna have to check that one out. I've not read that one before.
It's worthwhile. The one thing I think about most frequently that I learned in that book is an idea called the flip, where a potential client, in order for me to even pursue getting them to hire me, I need to be able to see that they perceive me as the person that can help solve their problems. I do not want to be viewed as a commodity in being hired for work. So if someone came to me and said, I need a producer, how about you? Or I need a cellist, how about you? I actually actively try to push them away a little bit. And if in the process of giving a slight pushback and say, I don't know if I'm the right person, what are you actually looking for? If I see them start to perceive me differently and say, oh, maybe this is actually the thing, then I will really engage in that conversation and start to work with potentially pursuing that.
That's a very interesting way to qualify, like, a person rather than form. I mean, I guess you can also do form related qualification, but like having the slight pushback, obviously you don't want to just like straight turn people off to you. So there's like the balance of learning that where to push and how hard and whatnot. But no, that's a very interesting Sales, dude, that's a very interesting. I'm gonna have to read that book now. You've sold me on that. You sold me on that one. I have it pulled up now. I'm gonna order it when we're done. So that's a really good one. So yeah, and I feel like learning to speak clearly, learning to sell well, learning to do is actually an underrated part of what we do. As business owners. I said it before, right? We are business owners.
We are business owners.
And like as icky or as weird as that might be to some people, it is just a fact of life. If you want to do this the way that we do this full time, it is your living. You have to approach it that way in order to have the longevity of not just like, I made a handful of $1,000 this month, and I don't know what I'm doing for the rest of the year.
Yeah. And really, like you touched on something that I feel really strongly about. Like there is a perception with a lot of people that business is icky. And it can be if you do it in an icky way. But I think that there's nothing inherently icky or wrong or predatory about running a business. Like I deeply and truly love getting to support people in elevating art that they feel strongly about. And if we resonate and I want to help elevate that, I can't do that for them if I am not able to pay my bills. Like I am offering something genuinely from my heart. And I want to be able to offer that more often and to more people and get better at doing it. And I need to invest in the tools and time to practice and lessons and all of those things. But I genuinely look at what I do. I'm in the service industry. Yeah. Like I want to serve people. I want to serve the artist, the producer, the mixing engineer, the mastering engineer, the listener. Yeah. Like I want to serve the algorithm. I want to serve the streaming platforms, like all of it. Like we have the opportunity to give something. And I think that's special.